We just heard every single dish in your house fall down.
Twice.
It sounded like when you went for your drink before, it sounded like every single dish someone was getting thrown into the walls, like knocking all your dishes out of the thing. I've heard enough 911 calls where people are getting murdered in true crime videos to know what that sounds like. And that's what that sounded like.
Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 199. I'm a cold open, and today we got the three of us back. It's, again, the Carter, J, and Rose show, and we're going to be doing a tier list of all of the new Pokemon that the Indigo disc brought us.
I'm just along for the ride. I don't know what's going on anymore.
You're driving the bus.
I don't want to drive the bus.
Oh, I mean, you're the one controlling the tier list.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Before we get into it, I don't think how are you guys?
I haven't touched the DLC yet.
Yeah,
we're what 2 weeks out, and I haven't touched it yet. So you know, we're on pace for kind of my overall opinions of Scarlet and Violet.
You have really struggled with getting the games done, which is like, I really enjoyed that.
This is the first Pokemon game. Well, that and like, I guess it's because it's open world. I'm just like, I don't want to do this, but like, I don't know, man. Because PLA was the same way, where I enjoyed it for a while, and then it just became a slog for me to try to continue to play, and. Scarlet and Violet has just been the same way. Just every time I sit down to like actually play it, I'm just like, I could be playing anything else right now.
Yeah, I get that. Outside of like the very little bit of like doubles random battles that I've played recently, you know, like I've played through some of the DLC, like probably about halfway of it. But the good thing is that we have a lot of Pokemon that we already know about here.
For sure.
You know, Pokemon that we've seen before. And we can, you know, we've been playing the game for long enough to, you know, get a decent idea of what these new guys are going to do too. So
plus Showdown's completely
also,
updated.
I think
yep.
It's like Showdown's updated. Like, you don't need to have played the DLC to play the VGC part. I did complete the DLC. I thought it was fine. I think that, like, to an extent, like, was it more difficult where it was higher level Pokemon with doubles? Definitely. I really liked the fact that like, all of the battles were double battles. Shocker, a VGC player likes double battles more. I do wish, even though it was, like, slightly more difficult, like, I know, like, Joe Merrick was like, oh, this is, like, the most difficult, like, it's been. I don't know if they just gave him like god awful Pokemon or if he's just bad at battling. It could be both. Who knows? But yeah, those are my DLC thoughts. Oh, and it also is an absolute crime that they made the Paradox Legends one-ofs, and the only way you can get them is to not only you have to literally finish the game, and it's not even finish the teal mask, then go through it. You have to make, like, you cannot access these legendaries, these Paradox Pokemon, unless you've also completed the Blood Moon Beast quest, which means you've had, like, if you're someone who's been holding off on, like, Ursaluna trying to do the resets, well, this might be the time for you to just get it done, because until you catch Ursaluna, you can't get your Paradox Legends from Indigo Disc.
So I have to beat the base game, beat the first DLC, beat the like extra quest in the first DLC, and then I get access to be able to do the DLC, the second part to be able to get the legends.
No, so
from what I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, you need to get the entire Blueberry Academy Pokedex to get the quest of
the entire, only 200 Pokemon.
Yeah, well,
out of like a 240-ish dex. But that's just cool. If you want to just go straight into like getting like playing the DLC, you don't need to do the Blood Moon Beast. You just need to finish the teal mask. But for you to get Gouging Fire or Raging Bolt in Scarlet or Iron Boulder and Iron Crown in Violet, you do need to also finish the Blood Moon Beast.
Insane. Okay.
Yeah. So this goes back to the age-old question of putting the walls in front of the stuff to, the walls to the barriers to entry for anyone trying to play VGC with the new good stuff. Because spoiler alert, they're all pretty good. At the very
and
least,
I think one of them, and I do believe one of them is clearly better than the other four. And again, we'll get to that. Let's start from the top with the executive. Actually, first, you want to just explain what the tiers are?
Before we actually move on, I think the best one isn't even like accessible in the game, right? Like Walking Wake, you have to have.
Raging Bolt's better than Walking Wake.
Is it okay? Well, still, but like
it's a
but
meta,
you're also right.
The fact that like
thing, but
two of them are locked behind an event that like they've ran now twice, and if you do the event
will be the
first
third
time, you can't even access it. Oh, is it the third? Okay, I mean, still, the only reason why
they're doing it a third, and the only reason why they're doing it a third time is because they messed up the event the first time, and there were people who they messed up where it's like there were people who could battle it but not catch it, something like that, and so they had to go put a patch out. Did the event a second time, and again, and what you said is right. If you have captured Walking Wake and Iron Leaves on one of these previous events, it's not like you can go and do it for a second one. Like you're just playing for the rewards.
Yeah, those barriers to entry may make it so that these Pokemon are not legal in the upcoming Reg F format because we don't actually have information on that either. And just to be straight up and honest about it, if these Pokemon are not legal in the format, I don't really know how much I'm actually going to play it because I think I would be extremely disappointed. I think they really shake up the format quite a bit and add a lot of unique stuff. So, yeah.
So do we just want to jump in and start actually talking about the actual tier list here and what we anticipate and what we can see?
Sure. And I mean, just going through, we have everything. Is it S through D or A through D? Can you scroll up? Okay, so just going through it, S tier Pokemon are Incineroar, and pretty much Incineroar. A tiers are Pokemon that we think are going to be VGC staples. You're going to see them on a lot of different teams. Examples of that would probably be Latios, Raging Bolt, Pokemon like that. B tiers are going to be, I know you gave me that look, I'm going to explain it when we get to Latios. B tiers are
That's
going to be...
That's not the one I was questioning.
Oh.
It's okay. We don't need to give examples. We can just describe what the tiers are.
Yeah, you get it. B tiers, solid Pokemon. C tiers, niche. D tiers for don't play them. Or, as Jody has been calling them, YouTube streamer content.
Extreme YouTube streamer content. A lot of those C tiers I've seen as labeled as that type of label too. So
yep,
we'll probably see a lot of both from the YouTube sphere, not as much in the day twos of the Reg F format. But with that, you guys want to get started?
So
sure.
Incineroar is really good. It's been a year since we've had to talk about Incineroar, so go watch the first 100 and some episodes of this podcast to hear about Incineroar.
Cool. But wait, no, because we actually do have to talk about this thing because they gave it both knockoff and helping hand. Why?
If I remember correctly, it had knockoff in
it had knockoff in Gen 7.
Knockoff a long time ago,
yeah.
But yeah.
But the thing is, knockoff is buffed from Gen 7 because in Gen 7 a lot of people you had Z moves and Megas.
So
and so those are items that you couldn't knock off.
Has an item. They were still boosted damage, but you just couldn't remove them. But yeah, the fact that now you have just the best dark type support move accessible back to it again is kind of just absurd. And
Yeah.
then not only that, but now it also has access to Helping Hand, which is, as a support Pokemon, if you're not doing the damage, your partner is. So like now you're nerfing your opponent's damage output, you're boosting your partner's output. Like it's that one I really don't understand why they gave it to it, and I haven't I have not loaded up Ladder whatsoever to play, and Ensign is dumb. I know it's just like going to continue to be too good for everything.
Yeah, and when you give it knockoff, like we had the clear amulet item come into the game as one of the ways to counter it. Now you can just knock it off and play parting shot. You know, it's like
fantastic.
Yeah, so and with Incineroar, you have so much versatility on some of those like fourth move slots. Like you're normally running Fake Out, Flare Blitz, and Parting Shot, but you have a lot of options there. Now you have the opportunity to run Helping Hand. You have Knockoff. You have Will-O-Wisp. You have U-Turn if you want to run AV. There's just so much that it can do, and you add Terra on top of that, it becomes just a real nightmare. It's obviously jacked, incredibly buff.
Bananas.
Yeah, this is the best Pokemon ever made. I mean,
I legitimately
what
think
else
we
can you
make
say?
I don't think there's anything else on this list that is like comparable to Incineroar. And like I don't think there's anything.
That's why I said Incineroar's S tier.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else you could put in that tier. Like with the knowledge of what we know will be legal, I don't think there's anything else we could put in that tier.
Moving on to something even more broken, Exeggutor. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I feel like an ass.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're just gonna like say this once again. Until we actually know if these Paradox legends are actually going to be legal, it's hard to really talk about them. Like we really don't know what they're going to be able to do because we don't know if they're legal. Also,
I think we can
on here
we can talk
legal,
about
right?
them. We know what they're going to
so,
do for the most part, but the Tapus are not. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Tapu. For the tier list, they had the Tapus there. Sadly, they are not here. I really wish they were because I think that Tapu Fini solves so much. Oh my god, I wish we had Tapu Fini.
I want Coco.
Yeah,
that's the only one I want. Is I just want Coco, so I can actually.
Yeah, Coco would be cool too.
I think all four of them would honestly be good in this format.
Yeah,
including
Bulu gets countered by Ensign, so.
Well, you could always do Clear Amulet Terra stuff, but
knockoff.
Yeah, that's besides the point. They're not here.
Yeah.
They're not here anyway. So, onto Exeggutor. Personally, I think that Alola Eggy can maybe go in C. I think that regular Eggy probably goes in D.
I think the cool thing for Alolan Eggy as a premier YouTuber content team, like Teammon, is that it does get Frisk, which in your best of one in-game ladder is super important to be able to get that the item information. And then being a Dragon type, I think, is generally good into this format. As we can see, there's going to be a lot of Pokemon that are Dragon type that are going to be in the A and B tiers. Except the everything else aspect of the Alolan Exeggutor isn't great. And as for Cantonian, you should just be using Alolan.
Yeah, we've seen some success with the Alola Eggy as like a Trick Room policy procer. So if anything, like I think it'll do that again, and I think it does get benefit from Terra being able to Terra away from its 4x ice weakness. But it's a good Terra, a good natural typing into the format right now. But it's not
so I'm looking at Kanto Eggy here. It has access to Helping Hand. It gets access to Knockoff. It now has access to Psychic Noise, which is kind of interesting. I don't think it's like particularly a good move, but I do think it is like, man, I really want to see how this thing actually plays. It's like it shuts off like citrus berries. It shuts off leftovers.
That move's been it's been popping up a little bit on like
seems really good for
and
singles.
stuff. Because the thing is that you actually turn off any move that does healing, so the move will fail. So if you use it into an Iron Hands, if it wants to click Drain Punch, it will fail.
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't
It just
just like
doesn't
prevent
attack.
the move from healing. It prevents
No.
the moves.
Yeah.
In the
Oh,
current
that's
state,
absurd.
that's what it does. I don't know if it's going to get patched in the future like all this other stuff does, but Psychic Noise itself is good. I don't think it's going to be good on Aggie. I think Aggie
No,
stinks.
I'm just again talking kind of in generals here.
So
I think
look,
those three moves are kind of a buff.
So I did look, and the Alone Executor also got Helping Hand and Knockoff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's still
it's not even
like basically strictly better.
Yeah, I think in general, like, because I'm pretty sure not like both are TMs, so I think there's going to be a lot of Pokemon that have gotten this access to those moves.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, but yeah. Moving on to the Hitmons. I mean, we can
just knock out all three of these at once.
Yeah, it's straight to D.
Yeah, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan are both D tier. I think
Hitmontop.
I think Hitmontop is C tier. Yeah,
I think it's still just like strictly worse than Incineroar in every way, as a fake out as a fake out intimidator. But like, man, why does Incineroar have to exist?
You get Wide Guard and a matchup into Incineroar since you're like slightly faster than it.
You also get Feint, which is something that it ran historically as well.
Yeah, it has like a cool, fun little move pool that will be fun on certain teams, but it's not better. It has a very tough competition between the other Intimidators and Fake Outers.
I really do. I love it. It also gets access to coaching again. Oh, my sweet
coaching's
child,
back.
It gets coaching.
Yeah.
See Hitmontop
Sucker Punch is also good. Wide Guard is good.
Yeah, Hitmontop's a Pokemon I wish we got in base decks because I believe in the base, like in like Reg A, maybe like Reg B to an extent. Definitely Reg C with all of the Dark type ruins around. I think Hitmontop would have had like a role and been maybe not an A or in A tier, but a solid like B tier Pokemon. However, it's just.
I mean, it's the same thing it did in. It's the same way it was in like Sword and Shield, right? Where Incineroar didn't exist, so your Intimidate mons were Hitmontop and Arcanine, which would have been the case here as well. And the fact that like Hitmontop isn't weak to Palafen's Jet Punches gives it an edge over Arcanine, right? Like, it would have been very good in a limited decks, which has always been the case for it, where, the best Intimidator isn't there. Where you have to use the resources the game gives you to build these, like, balance cores. Hitmontop is one of those that, like, can patch up a hole that your team has. All right. Do we want to talk about the new Follow Me users?
Yeah,
I really like these.
They're both pretty good. I think they both probably belong in like B tier.
I agree. I was just about to say that.
I think
Magmar already has a big win.
Yeah, but I also think that's because people don't know what it does. I think that the fact that it has Follow Me plus Static and or Flame Body is really important. Carl was messing around with Electabuzz where it has access to Vital Spirit as well. So like it just really just sits in front of like a Mungus and bodies it while also being able to take Surging Strikes, which is something that Magmar can't say without tarrying, even with like Eviolite. I think that Electabuzz is definitely like there is something that it is going to be able to do. Magmar, I just because of how good Urshifu is, I mean, that doesn't mean anything this early in a format that doesn't actually have like regulations behind it yet.
I think that the big difference between the two here is that Electabuzz is actually slightly faster than Urshifu and gets Electro Webs too. But we've historically seen Flame Body redirection Pokemon do really, really well.
I
And
think no,
even if you're going
it's
down to a Surging
tier.
Strikes with Eviolite, you're probably going to need 2 of them, which means that you're rolling really good chances of burns. And whenever you're giving a chance to burn, whether you're clicking Fake Out with an Iron Hands, a Stomping Tantrum with a Landorus, or like a Surging Strikes. I'm not sure if Stomping Tantrum is actually a contact making move, but Surging Strikes is, the key one with a Terra Grass or something. I like both of these about equally, and I see
Okay.
both, reason for both.
I'll have to play around with
Yeah.
Magmar more. It really scares me in a format full of Urshifus.
Yeah, early meta win is you gotta give it. It's got to be at least the same as Electabuzz. They both had good placements, so.
I think I again.
I think
it's
Lapras
the
kinda
flame
sucks.
bodies do. The flame body's doing a lot of work. Honestly, I think we can put everything on this list from Lapras through Skarmory in D tier. I don't think you're going to see any of them be played whatsoever. Jody
Yeah.
Azzarelli's going to give you 10 grand if you can win a regional with Meganium, so have at it.
Lapras, you do have. I know me and Carl talked about it a little bit last week when we were on the pod. We talked about how Lapras has the buff from being an ice type with snow, and having a good matchup into a decent matchup into Urshifu. But otherwise, it's like everything else here is there's just better stuff in the format. You're not going to use for Alligator when you can use Urshifu. Meganium just stinks, and the rest are kind of just average Pokemon, unfortunately.
For Alligator gets Dragon Dance and Sheer Force.
It does, and that's cool. I think there's just better Dragon Dancers. We will later in this episode talk about a very, very good Dragon Dancer. Speaking of dragons, Kingdra,
I'm going to be taking for Alligator to my first local.
For Alligator is cool. You can use it.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you want to put it in
I
C, I'll be okay with it with that one. But
yeah, I'm not going to say anything bad.
I won't argue.
It also gets Trailblaze.
Okay, no. Now you deserve to be bullied.
Now we're talking.
Now you deserve to be bullied.
That's what's going to do it.
You're going to use Trailblaze on a Sheer Force Pokemon.
Oh, I didn't say I was going to use it.
God.
I
what do
don't
you guys
think
think
Kingdra
of
is all
Kingdra?
that good here. I don't think it's all that good.
I don't think it is either.
It's got really strict competition for being a rain, water, and dragon Pokemon, which there's quite a few of those types. Like you want your Urshifu for your water, dragon type, which we'll talk about later. You have Archaludon, which is created a niche for itself on those teams. The speed is great. You kind of, I just don't think it's. You'd rather have other things, probably like C.
Yeah, I think it's
not
C
the
tier
best
as
rain
well.
abuser.
So I've seen it not be used on a rain team with the new dragon move, Dragon Shear, which is pretty much that focus energy boost, like that focus energy version of coaching. The Dragon Shear will give a +2 boost to it'll
Sniper
raise your crit
Kingdra,
+2
yeah.
if you're a dragon type. Yep. So Sniper Kingdra is a thing that you should watch out for. Again, it leans more YouTube content, but I wouldn't be shocked if it would be a good team for a local that you want to have fun at, and maybe at your lower tables at your first few majors you might see that. Moving forward with
Archaludon gets Dragon Cheer, which also pairs well with the rain team stuff with its new stupid attack, whatever it's called.
Electroshock.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So the fact that you have this rain abuser in Archaludon that also can be support to your Sniper Kingdra that also likes being rain boosted. There's probably something there. The problem then is you have your rain setter, you have you have multiple dragon types. It's a lot of overlapping weaknesses is what it feels like. But
that,
it's
and
probably interesting.
Yeah, that, and it's you kind of want your Archaludon to do the Archaludon things that we'll talk about that make it so good. Again, could be a best of one team, that closed team sheet on the in-game ladder. something like that. A blast from the past, Porygon 2, a Pokemon that a lot of people have missed. I don't know what to think overall about this Pokemon.
I hate
It
this
does a lot of
Pokemon just generally.
I know you do.
It's
love
one of my
Cyberduck.
least favorite to play against.
Same.
It's kind of okay. Incineroar has knockoff now, so Eviolite users took a gigantic
I
nerf there.
think before the prevalent use of like knockoff, I think this would probably be like one of the best Trick Room setters, but because of how prevalent that is, and like you also have Iron Hands and Urshifu running around to really threaten this thing, and like I really don't want to have to Terra my Trick Room setter, as well as like Expanding Force being like extremely widely used now. Like the fact that you have Expanding Force to be able to pair with Indeedee, the fact that like Indeedee also now has access to Trick Room as well as Follow Me, like. What is P2 doing that like every other Trick Room setter isn't? Like
P2,
it's still bulky. It's still bulky beyond belief, right?
It has download, which into leads like Urshifu Tornadus. You might get that special attack boost. It allows you to be a little bit more offensive. Recover to allow you to stay on the field longer. But I think the cool thing with P2 and for that matter PZ. Is that you can run just Stab Terra Blast on it.
Yeah.
And then you can Terra into a defensive type and still be running Stab Terra Blast with that, you're losing out on like the tri-attack stuff, but I think that like for me, like there's going to be a ton of knockoff Incineroar, but not all of them are going to have it.
Correct.
So it's going to be very matchup dependent, and I think sticking it in B is pretty fair with the other Eviolite guys. I don't think it's
since
much
we're
worse
talking
than
about
Magmar.
P2. Do we also want to talk about PZ real quick?
Yeah,
sure.
You want like the complete opposite side of the coin? I think PZ is probably like a solid C tier Pokemon. I think that this thing is not quite fast enough to be a huge threat, but I do also think that like adaptability plus Terra is absolutely absurd. And this thing already has like a good special attack. I think that like Porygon, I think PZ is really interesting, man. The problem is it's based at like its bulk is basically non-existent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is such a high power format right now where even the Pokemon that hit hard are also super, super thick. And PZ only does one of those two things. And it's like you might make a trade, and maybe that trade is a little worthwhile to you, but to get the Porygon Z in position to even make that trade, you might be giving up a lot of other things. I think C tier's fine. It's clearly better than everything that we have in D so far, and its damage output is absolutely nutty. It's just that it might not get that hit off. With the amount of
base 135 special attack is insane. Like
it's also a very good user of the Stellar Terra too.
It is.
It's because its move pool is so diverse, man. You can do a lot with it. You have Bolt Beam, you have Terra Blast. Let's see, you have Shadow Ball, Discharge, Blizzard. I mean, those are both like also covered by Bolt Beam. Psyshock.
Thunderbolts.
Which, man.
Yeah, you're probably running like Terra Blast, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Protect on this most of the time. And you get like the adaptability plus Stellar Terra boost on all your first attacks with this Pokemon. And
is that how that works?
Yeah. So Stellar Terra is. You can explain. I explained it last episode, Angelo.
Sure. Okay. Well, I might be explaining it wrong. So when you Stellar Terra, on defensively you keep your original typing. So for all defensive calcs, Porygon Z would still be a normal type. Offensively, it's a 1.5 times boost for the first time you use a specific attack of any type, and then it's 1.2,
I think.
Oh, it's 1.2, and then it goes. Okay, so yeah, I might have been thinking of I was thinking of the way that Terrapagos does it. So it's the 1.2 Terra boost and then it goes back to normal. So like just normal damage. So Porygon Z, it would Stellar Terra, and the first time you would use Thunderbolt, you get the 1.2 bonus to it, and then from that point forward, it's just straight damage. I do think
It could be
like,
1.5 to 1.2. Actually, that sounds a lot more right.
That could be that because I think Terrapagos has something different with it, and that could be that. I think in general with just bring up the Stellar Terra, I think in general it will be best used on like a Pokemon like Porygon Z, where it's defensively it only has one weakness, it has an immunity, and it has a lot of different coverage moves for it to use. But in general, I don't see Stellar being a thing you really have to worry about. Just know, like for defensive purposes, Stellar Pokemon keep the defensive typings that they were originally before they terra'd.
I don't know what the multiplier is, but something important for us to point out with the Stellar Terra too is that your Terra Blast becomes super effective into any terrestrialized Pokemon. When you
Is this still considered a normal type move? Otherwise,
yes.
Okay.
It's yeah.
It's a normal type move that can hit any Pokemon for super effective damage if they're Terra'd.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Interesting.
The only
and
thing
it drops
is you
your
also take
attack
a
and special
-1.
attack. Yeah.
So contrary,
Sure.
so that's it. So contrary Pokemon are also Pokemon that could make great use of the Stellar Terra type in most cases. However, like a contrary Pokemon that we're about to talk about soon in Superior, you might as well just keep either the Grass type or the defensive type with that. Before we get to Superior, we do have to get to Before we get to Superior, we have to get to everyone's favorite menace of VGC, Smeargle. And
I don't think Smeargle's good.
It's trash.
It's not good anymore. No, it's not. I think the big fear was Revival Blessing Smeargle, and they already coded in that Smeargle cannot use Revival Blessing. It'll fail every time it attempts to sketch Revival Blessing. I think it's a C tier Pokemon just due to the ability for it to be a spore user. Carter is just a hater, apparently.
Dude, I really don't think it's
too
good.
Low. This is my argument for it. You still get Follow Me, you still get Moody, but the big buff it got is Burning Bulwark, which is Gouging Fire's signature move, because now you can use that to on Fake Out, burn an Iron Hands, and things like that. You're still going to see this thing. This thing is going to be really annoying when you play against it, especially when it's on like close team sheet ladder. I think it's probably worth a C tier because it still has all the utility you could possibly imagine with Spore, Follow Me, Burning Bulwark, so on and so forth. Any move you could dream besides Revival Blessing and Dark Void.
Counterpoint.
Yeah, I agree.
Your Moody defense boosts don't matter in front of the best Pokemon in the format.
It still gets Follow Me, which is enough.
Yeah, you get the Follow Me, you get the speed. You get fast.
Like,
you can like if you get a speed boost, you're the fastest Spore user out there, and you can just put anything to sleep. That's really threatening you. I also think that in the grand scheme of things, Smeargle is just clearly better than every other Pokemon we have in D tier, to the point where I think just by that, it just needs to be in C.
Is Angelo cutting out really bad for you two, Jay, or just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I just cut out?
It's been happening a bunch, but we've been making do.
That's really bad.
Yeah, that's a little bit of where some of your cut off, like you guys overlapping with each other, has came from. But it's okay.
Yeah, I mean we'll make it work. And plus, Carl's gonna cut out all this anyway, so
yeah, hopefully.
Last time he didn't cut anything out, but yeah. Going to the Hoenn starters.
These are all pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sceptile, you get like Unburdened Dragon Cheer with to run it next to
interesting.
something, so you get something like really fast.
I still think all three of them are just like unplayable though.
Yeah, I think they're all probably in D tier.
Notably, Swampert also gets Wide Guard. Does that do anything for anyone?
Grassy Glide.
Yeah, but now you can Terra into a fire type.
And then you're terraing your Swampert to click Wide Guard
Correct.
on Dazzling Gleam, I guess, or Bleak Wind Storm. Which
If you just want,
like Expanding Force. It also
if you
gets
just
Icy
want
Wind and
a water
knockoff.
type, yeah, guys, if you just want a water type that clicks Wide Guard, play Pelipper.
That's true too. There's a lot of other better water types who do the physical attacking thing.
There's
and
an
the
infinite
Wide Guard
number
thing.
of better water types.
Doesn't Luminion get Wide Guard? Gastrodon gets Wide Guard, right?
Gastro does not.
I thought it did. Maybe
water type
Minion
Wide
doesn't
Guarders.
get Wide Guard.
Dang, it gets Tailwind.
Wide
though.
Guard water typers. Alola Mola, Araquanid, Pelipper, Swampert, Toxapex.
Oh, I was way off, but Araquanid is a good one. Much better than Swampert.
Yeah,
Yeah, Swampert kind of butt.
yeah. And sadly, I think Flygon's also just bad. They gave it absolutely nothing. And this is a Pokemon
It needs like
desperately
an extra
needed.
100 points in its stats.
Yeah, or at least them to be redistributed.
Oh god, dude, its base stats
It's
are
so sad.
bad.
It's so sad. I love this Pokemon. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's just not good whatsoever.
Its
Metagross
typing,
good
like
yet?
its typing has some stuff going for it, and like it has some good moves for the Flygon, but like Levitate's great, but yeah, those stats stink. Metagross is okay.
Collinsville, day 2 of Collinsville, Carl and I got knocked out, and so before we left, we went to go eat Popeyes, which is right in front of the convention center. And him and I sat there and brewed up Choice Specs Flygon.
I'm sure that worked out well.
Yeah,
we never
brilliant.
tried it, but like,
I wonder
we did
why.
calcs and it like wasn't terrible. This is also in Dynamax format, so like, you know.
Yeah, when you Dynamax, the thing that Flygon really needs, it doesn't actually help.
Correct.
Yeah.
Metagross
it has some things going for it, like
it gets
Clear
knockoff.
Body's good. Like you can run a really good like Assault Vest set with it. Its typing leaves a lot to be desired with Flutter Mane, with Incineroar, all in the format. But
Notably, it finally got a huge buff in its move pool. It finally has access to Heavy Slam.
it also got Psychic Fangs.
Yeah,
too,
Heavy
which,
Slam, Psychic
improves its psychic
Fangs.
coverage.
What else? It got one of those the new moves. It did get Psychic Noise. Not that you're ever going to use it.
It got Trailblaze.
I hate you so much.
Unironically,
So
that's
much.
like
All I-
a thing you can do with it in singles. Because
So-
getting that speed boost in singles is actually really good for it.
Oh, so it also got the new move, the new Steel type move, Hard Press, which has a higher base power the more HP the target has. I think that's also a super interesting move. It works the same as
Ring Out?
Regigigas' Crush. I thought yes, Ring Out. I believe it was Ring Out or Crush.
And Crush Claw. Crush Clip, yeah, that one too.
Yeah. So that's another cool thing it has. I don't think it's an A tier Pokemon though. I think it's just been outpaced by a lot of other Pokemon in the format, and I know it can Terra, but there's a lot of really, really good fire types and a lot of really, really good ground types in the format right now.
I think that the thing going. Sorry,
You go. No, you go.
the thing for Metagross for me is that there's some like good bulldozers in the format too. Like we got Iron Boulder, which can do booster energy bulldoze stuff. Like the Lottie twins have it and are fast. Spectrier is fast and has it. So like there's some decent options to like try to get the clear body stuff going too.
It's definitely there.
Technically, the fastest Bulldo user is Unburdened Sceptile. Do with that
is
what
an
you
option.
will. We finally cracked it, guys. Sceptile's actually playable. Yeah, Metagross is cool. I'm gonna work on it some because I do think that like the buffs to its move pool are really interesting. but overall, I don't think it's insane.
Yeah.
I
Looking
it's hard to beat its typing in a format dominated by Fluttermane, Urshifu. Just like pick a Pokemon that's really good.
Yeah. Just look at again. I know it's super super early. But like we do have two decent size like Reg F tournaments, or what we think Reg F will be, and the highest placing in the most recent one, the Burnt Glizzy Tour that Himi puts on. Out of 162 players, its highest placement was 32nd. So like
Okay.
decent showing for Metagross. And I think that's like why I'm saying like it's a B tier mon, but I think like when we're looking at our A tiers, those are going to be like the upper of upper echelons. With that being said, speaking of honestly some lower echelon Pokemon, I think everything up to Excadrill is also just like YouTuber content.
I think Rhyperior and Serperior can probably go in C. Everything else can go in D.
Rhyperior's so bad.
It gets solid
Yeah,
rock, and it's a trick room.
It gets
Pokemon.
solid rock, but
Rhyperior. I'm
rock...
thinking Rampardos. I'm over here thinking Rampardos. I'm like, it's so bad.
No, you give it like a good like a Terra grass or something, and I think that Rhyperior is pretty decent. It has like good offensive typing and allows you to hit a lot of things super effective. And solid rock adds a lot to your bulk. And Superior, you have Contrary. You can do stuff with it, and you can click Leaf Storms and Stellar Terra like we said before.
Yeah, what's fun, and I can pull this up with Superior right now with its attack
Emboar
stat.
should probably be C tier too.
Talk to me.
It's good typing. Its moves hit like a truck. Good Assault Vest user. Like firefighting is good defensively and offensively.
Also gets reckless.
Yeah, and you can.
It's
you
going
can
to knock
Flare Blitz
it's going to knock itself out before you get anything else done.
No, you have Stab Drain Punch.
Oh god. I
like, dude, Flare Blitz from this thing is gonna hit like a truck.
I don't think it's that bad. I think it's a pretty good Assault Vest user with like Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Terra Blast, Grass, and like +1 or something. Like you can use it. It's not good, but it's.
Does it get Trailblaze?
Probably.
It does.
I think it's probably worth C. Everything else there, I'm cool with.
So, like, looking at C tier, these are all Pokemon I actually anticipate playing against. I don't know if I'm ever going to see an Emboar.
Yeah, I that's why I'm leaning, like, I think Emboar will be, like, I think it's the best of the D tier, but I still think it's D tier.
It almost won Worlds once.
Yeah, like, over a decade ago.
Look how different
we were
the
in high
formats
school.
were.
I have
we were
heard
in high school.
Jay wasn't
worse
even born.
arguments for worst Pokemon.
Speaking of bad arguments for Pokemon, I think this is the time to bring this up. Illumise, Taiwan regional champion. Your boy is vindicated.
Nah,
he always knew. He always knew. I always knew. How many wins does Ambipom have this year? How many? Let's speed this up and be thankful that Carl has many days to get this. So you guys go. I'll try to like add in things.
All right. Excadrill, not ass.
It's what Sand needs.
But like, is that make
it's not
Sand
good
viable?
Still. No.
Again, if this was like a regional Dex Pokemon, it'd be interesting. But because we're like not,
you get to hit Fluttermane, but you're not faster than Booster Fluttermane. So what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Even in Sand, you're not faster. So
it's like down here with the B tier boys.
I would probably put it in C.
I would. Yeah, I think it's a C.
All right, Whimsicott's great.
Whimsicott easy A.
A tier for sure.
Yeah, it can do everything.
Did it get any boost this generation?
Covert Cloak?
Covert Cloak is big for it. Terra is also big for it. I meant
more in its move pool.
It already has 4 move slot syndrome.
Yeah. like you're gonna use this when you want to beat your Tornchifu because you're faster than Tornadus, so you can run this mass speed and taunt into non-mental herb Tornadus to get that tailwind and get that speed boost.
I straight up
Otherwise-
think they did not give this thing a single new move.
How can you give
Otherwise, you're
something
gonna
that
run
has
it with
everything?
Encore or like something like that.
Yeah. Light screen? Like it's a screen.
The biggest loser of Wims being added is actually going to be Mousehold, because Wims has just completely taken its spot as best beat-up user.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we have another good beat up Pokemon too, and like Terrakion and the
Yeah.
swords.
Mhm.
So, that's
Terracotta,
a
real good.
little disappointing for Mousehold, but it's Whimsy time.
Yeah.
Scrafty's probably on par with like Hitmontop, right?
You
It's
have
like-
a 4
it's like-
times weakness to Flutter.
I still
It-
think it's better than everything down here in D tier, though.
I probably agree with that. I'm okay with putting it in C.
Yeah.
Like you can put Terra Poison on it.
Cinchino
think-
sucks.
Mm-hmm. Reuniclus, it's
It
not it.
claps. It slaps real hard.
It hits really hard and it gets expanding force, so you
Yeah,
can
but-
use it.
Oh, is that new?
Yeah, it's a TM now.
They actually have a trainer in the story of the Indigo Disc that uses Psychic Terrain Prankster Meowstic with
That's
expanding
awesome.
force Reuniclus.
That is
And,
awesome.
yeah, it's not great, but it's another option. There's better options for Psychic type Trick Room setters for size spam stuff though.
Joltik sucks.
Well,
This thing brought
yes,
us
and so does Galvantula.
E-Webs. This brought us E-Webs as a TM though, so shout out to it.
So we get E-Webs, we get Sticky Web, we get Energy, we get Electro Ball. I'm out of good things for it to run.
Smeargle gets its protect. Oh no, wait, that's Spidops' protecting move,
Mhm.
the silk one,
Yep.
or whatever. Yeah. So yeah,
What?
that's about it. Electro Web TM is the best thing that it does though.
Yeah.
What is Silk Trap? What is this move?
It lowers. It's a protecting move that lowers speed.
Oh,
It's
I've literally never seen
Spidops
that.
only because it's on Spidops only.
Golurk sucks. Meowsticks, both are pretty bad.
Yeah,
Meowstic Male can do prankster things, but you aren't
Is
going
that
to use
this
it.
one?
and we
Yes.
talked about it a little bit earlier. It could do a prankster's skill swap into after you Moltres if you want to have fun.
Wait, are
and-
your own Pokemon like? Can you target your own Dark type
Yes.
Yes.
moves?
Mm-hmm.
This game sucks, man. It's so complicated.
Malamar has a fun little use with Hydrapple where you skill swap Contrary onto it, and then
Hell yeah! Now
and
I'm
then
in.
you get double super sweet syrup evasion drops, and then you also get Contrary Leaf Storm on it. That's
in.
about it.
It's still a D tier.
Yeah.
Tentacruel, Pokemon I love, is just not great.
Yeah, it's like a decent flutter counter, and it's okay, and it has terrible defense, so it's not even okay in Terra.
Yeah, I was gonna say the problem is you died to Urshifu.
Yeah.
Good lord, base 65 defense.
It's terrible, but it does get clear body and it's base 100, so it's like fast clear body, but still not good enough.
One
to
of my
justify
favorite
it.
teams from Sword and Shield was the Bulldoze Tentacruel team.
Was
Do y'all
that
remember that?
That was me and Slacking.
someone ran that in RTT too.
That was
Ben
so
in
cool.
RTT ran that for the whole season. That team is sick.
Is Primarina playable yet?
Yes, actually,
I think
it's
so,
quite
yeah.
good right now.
Like B tier?
I think it's
good?
a B tier.
B tier good. Yeah, it's a very good user of Stellar Terra. Because
Yeah, that tracks.
it also just has very high special attack. So you're running you can run Moonblast, Energy Ball plus a Water type move, and just
Hyper
be a
voice.
good. Yeah, and because
Mhm.
of the
Liquid voice.
the
Yeah.
liquid voice, and you get to just be a really good counter to Urshifu, all around, and strong attacker. It is like 125 base special attack or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Let me pull it up.
126, even better than you thought.
Wow. Wow.
Also get Perish Song. That's something that has been a thing in the past. Terra Blast is probably also just really good on this. You get access to Weather Ball if that's something you want to do.
Mm-hmm. You can also just run it like Terra Grass with Energy Ball. That counters the Terra Water Urshifu, so you don't have to
Interestingly,
rely on Moonblast.
you also get Psychic Noise, which I'm assuming is a voice move, so it becomes Stab. Is that
That's
how that works?
actually super unique.
I think so.
That would be really, really cool if so.
I'm looking it up right now.
That's actually an extremely cool use case for it as well, I think. Because, I mean, Hyper Voice is spread, but you have like that secondary effect, and your damage difference is not that much different since it is the spread damage drop.
It is a sound-based move.
So that's actually really
cool.
Because you can use that into Iron Hands if you just want to stop it from clicking Drain Punch to like sacrifice the Primarina and bring in something to KO it in the back.
And like you can like Terra Grass or whatever, so you're no longer weak to the electric coverage off of what's his face hands.
So like Hands and also the Electro Shot from the Archaludon, which is like its only way to hit you.
Yeah, this seems really cool.
Yeah, and it also allows you to have a great answer. The Terra Grass Energy Ball gets around the Amoonguss and also does a lot of damage. Picks up KOs into the Urshifu. So,
all right, Primarina slaps. That's what we learned today.
Yeah, this thing's cool.
Yeah, sadly, Toucannon does not.
Slap.
Bad.
Yep.
Bad.
Terrible.
So Toucannon was on my Sun and Moon team when I played through it because, like, obviously regional bird, giant toucan. This thing's cool. It's one of my favorite designed Pokemon. It was also the first Pokemon I ever shiny hunted.
It has an amazing shiny. It is an awesome Pokemon.
Really good shiny.
They just made it stink. It is a what is it? Trans rights shiny. It's yeah, it's like either the trans or the bi flag, one of the LGBTQ plus flags. So shout out to the community.
I love it. It's so awesome. I hadn't even ever thought about that, but that just makes it even cooler.
Yeah, I love it. It's become a little bit of an icon on Twitter. I've seen some people post on it.
Also, Sheer Force and Skill Link are both like interesting moves.
Yeah, this thing stinks though, unfortunately.
What do you mean? You get knockoff!
You also get a flying type focus punch if you really want it with a blast beak or whatever.
Yeah.
You get Temper Flare?
Yeah, I don't think this is never being used. See, this is what I was talking about, Carter. We're talking about Toucannon for 20 minutes.
What do you mean Toucannon's sick?
we can move on to a real Pokemon in Araquanid, which I say real Pokemon. It's a solid B. Araquanid's cool.
Yeah, I think this is on par with like Primarina of like good water types that were introduced.
It didn't get Wave Crash though, man.
Which sucks.
Oh no, what a shame. It didn't get boosted.
It really it needs it, especially with Incineroar. It's a gigantic issue.
I think I've actually played around with this Pokemon. I think it's a great user of Clear Amulet. Honestly, the biggest issue with Araquanid isn't even Araquanid based. It's the fact that because of Urshifu, everyone has a lot of physical water hate already on their teams. And that physical water hate for Urshifu is indirectly hurting your Araquanid, which kind of like makes it a lot more difficult for it to do damage when you're like, okay, well, half of my opponent's team is good against physical water types, or at least like resists that sort of damage.
Yeah, like White Guard in this format is it doesn't seem
Super useful.
extremely impactful since it is so physical, which is one of the things that Araquanid really has going for it. I think that when a restricted format goes around, Araquanid's gonna skyrocket and be much, much better because it's a good Pokemon into the spread weather setting legendaries, Groudon and Kyogre.
And the horses.
Comfey's sick.
I love this thing.
I also love Comfey.
Me and Carl had a little...
I don't think it's as...
Go ahead.
I'm really glad it cut out there. Riverside saw the disrespect coming in and went, absolutely not.
I stopped myself. I think it's good. It's not as good as it was in Gen 8. I think it's a C tier.
I agree with you.
I think it's way better than everything
C.
we have in C tier.
Here's the cool thing about it. That it did get a buff this generation is that it also has Tailwind now. So it's one of those interesting Pokemon that can do Tailwind and Trick Room. You can run Giga Drain and Draining Kiss to proc weakness policies on like a defensive water type that is also weak to fairy. So like if you're running like we use defensive Water Terra Moltres last week. Me and Carl had a little discussion about this Pokemon. But you can use it like next to weakness policy Urshifu or something if you really wanted to with your double healing. It does have a little bit of All My Friends Are Dead syndrome, which I think is a big issue in this format, and it's why I'm not super high on Grimmsnarl, which is why I'm okay with putting it in C, but I think it's extremely niche and will fit on the right teams like a glove.
Does Pollen Puff get boosted by Triage?
I believe so, yes.
That's sick.
That was another little thing that we were a little confused about last week. If it does work into your partner with Triage, that's a gigantic...
I mean, why would you, though, when you have Floral Healing?
You would run Floral Healing, yeah. But, like, you can also have it to do damage into something like Rillaboom, which you might struggle with.
Alright, I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah. While he's doing that, just in general, again, I think Minior, Dodrio, Duraludon, Dugong, Blastoise, all easy Ds.
Yeah, Dugong gets Fake Out and Perish Song. It's one of the only Pokemon to get that.
And it's still bad.
They're
Dugong
all trash.
gets Fake Out?
Fake Out and Perish Song, yep.
Huh. Duraludon is strictly worse than its new evolution. I think you're being really disrespectful to Blastoise, though.
I love Blastoise. It's not good.
The format's not really in Blastoise's favor right now, I think.
Fun fact, Bitter Blade gets boosted by Triage.
Yeah,
that's heals. Actually, yeah. I mean...
I'm not surprised to see that, but it
does it get skill swap? Can you skill swap it onto Iron Hands and just click Drain Punch?
I'm looking. It does not get skill swap. This
Dang.
Pokemon sucks.
Dang.
Revival Blessing gets boosted. Hold on.
How do you...
But, yeah,
it would heal 75%.
What?
Blastoise gets like Fake Out and like strong water special damage, but
it gets Water Spout. Are we just gonna ignore that?
Yeah, it's not going to get the Water Spout off, and it's because of the speed stat. You're not getting the Water Spout off in time, where it actually matters. I think
even with like a Choice Scarf user, like a Choice Scarf Blastoise, you're just gonna set like your Booster Energy Flutter Mane or something in front of it. Your Booster Energy Iron Bundle, and just click a button that's gonna negate that Water Spout damage completely.
I'm very excited. I wish
it got Follow Me. I think it would have been a cool Follow Me user.
I agree with that.
I like the Fake Out Icy Wind like support set, but I think that one it's probably not great, unfortunately.
Venusaur is probably like a solid C tier Pokemon, right?
Yeah, it's invalidated by a lot of other Chlorophyll users like Lilligant, Hisuian Lilligant specifically, but
yeah, but Hisuian
I think it could be like a nice
gets bodied by like Ensign.
But it gets after you. And that's the important thing.
Alchemy sucks. Let's see. Let's knock out the rest of these that are going to be down here. This thing sucks.
I don't even think that's in the game.
These bottom row I'm not going to put in because they're all terrible. Oh,
Yeah.
is this not in the game? All right, cool.
Yeah, I think
You're
that's.
not
I don't
having
even
to
think
tap
it's
this
in the
then.
game.
I love
Please,
Sil Valley. That's
I
one of
will
my
not
that's one of my
write that.
all-time favorites.
Right,
I think that Pokemon's
right
so
on.
cool.
I'm not
I think
ranking it because it's bad.
Well, I was going to
Like,
say, I think
why-
you could put right.
Why would
I
I,
think
rank
you could
this
put it
when
in the
like
D
Rhyperior
tier.
exists?
Well, that's why you put it in D.
It's like,
but, like,
you get
again-
Eviolite Lightning Rod. That's why you use this, because you can use it.
I
with,
won RTT with this thing, and I'm telling you, it's not usable.
But like,
I've won
I'm
a
just
draft league with this.
if you want to argue putting it on the tier list, like that's why I'm saying it, because you can at least put it next to like when Thunderclap comes out from the Raging Bolt. There's an answer. It's trash, but it's if you want to at least get it a spot on the tier list, I think that's enough of a spot.
I'm doing this, but
potentially.
not because I want to. It's because I'm
Thank
being
you.
pressured into it.
I think
Raiku's
that
cool. I don't. Are these playable? Suicune's
Yes.
probably fine.
So-
right? Like it's.
I'd say
think
no.
all these are
Suicune's a
okay.
B. I think Suicune's a B. Entei's a B. Raiku's a C. Suicune,
I
you
think
have
Entei is an
Snarl.
A.
I don't think it's that good.
You
It's-
get
I think-
Choice Band, Inner Focus, Extreme Speed next to Chien Pao. We've seen 100 other Pokemon do that, and like it has better move pool. It's faster than the Arcanines. It's like it is absolutely an A tier.
I
In my
think that
opinion.
You
the
actually
big-
hit weaker than Dragonite, if that means anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
weaker
also
than
think the other
Dragonite, but we've seen the other fire types lighting it up.
But I think
It's
that's
not been
the
the
issue
Dragonite.
where it's like there's so many other amazing fire types that do more than just one thing, and Entei just, unless you're specifically saying I want to do Entei extreme speed stuff, there's no other reason for you to ever want to use Entei, and
You
that's
got
why
Sacred Fire, which is one of the
But-
best moves in the game.
But why would you use it over Incin or Ogerpon Hearthflame or Heat
Because
Ray?
you're
I
gonna-
don't think
because
you
you're
want
gonna hit
those
like a
next to
truck.
Chien-Pao. Like,
you're doing extreme speed stuff with it.
yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what I'm
for
saying.
every
like,
single
powerful.
format, we put Choice Band Extreme Speeders next to Chien Pao in the A tier, and this thing it has better defensive type than Dragonite. It also has Inner Focus, which makes it better than it gives it another option rather than the Arcanine and the Incineroars. It doesn't have to worry about Fake Out. It's fast. It has really good coverage in the ways of Iron Head, Stomping Tantrum, Flare Blitz, Sacred Fire. Like, this is a really, really good Pokemon.
Yeah, I think Entei's really powerful, man.
And you can run it with Assault Vest. You can run it Citrus Berry. Like, there's
If you
more
do,
than
if
just
you do
that.
Assault Vest things, you also get access to, like, Snarl. Which is, like, something
I don't know.
I've
When
done in the past.
I think the tough thing is it's just like it's really good in this on this one team, and even then, I think that Dragonite's still better than Entei at doing that one thing. And on any other team, there's like again a handful of insanely powerful fire types that you can use over it.
But you're
that's
faster than
that's-
Dragonite.
Yeah, but
You're faster
if you're clicking
than Dragonite.
if you're clicking extreme speed,
If you're
how much
clicking
does that
extreme
matter?
speed,
You get to hit
you're
them
going
before they hit
before
you.
they hit you.
Yeah.
Like there's trade offs here. I think you can argue it's as good as Dragonite. It's as good as like the Choice Band, Arcanines that we saw early
No,
format.
absolutely not.
Maybe not as Arcanines, not the Arcanine Hisui.
Okay.
Arcanines that we
That's
saw
fair.
early
That's
format.
fair. That's fair.
Hisui
Yeah.
Arcanine has the Rock type damage, which makes it better.
Yeah.
That's an S tier Pokemon, which we put it in the S tier. This is we put every other Pokemon in the A tier, and I think putting it any lower is an extreme disservice. You're comparing it with
that's fair.
Magmar and Electabuzz, like
Okay. I'm on board. I don't think Suicune though. It gets a
Suicune gets
tailwind. Maybe
tailwind,
it's
it
A
gets
tier.
Oh.
Inner Focus Tailwind, probably
Yeah.
B tier for it and Raikou.
And it has Scald.
Yeah. B.
And
yeah.
I sold you
it's-
now. Stab Scald real good.
having Scald it's weird because that used to be like everything gets Scald. But yeah.
Now everything gets Trailblaze. Which, by the way, Entei does as well.
Stop. All three
Never.
Reggies are bad.
They're so bad.
Yeah.
I can't
I'll
wait
still
to
make a
get
Reggie
message
Rock
from
team.
Ryan this week saying that Reggie Rock is gonna do something. He's gonna make Reggie Rock do something. I'll be like,
I'm
sure,
also
man.
gonna make Reggie Rock do something. Don't
I'm
worry.
all for you doing
It's
that.
coming.
Yeah, no, this thing we'll actually talk about. I actually like Reggie Gigas.
We can talk about. Do you want to talk about Gigas now?
Yeah, how good is it next to Weezing?
It's fine. Weezing lost its new best friend in Roaring Moon, so it has to go back to its old best friend.
Very meh. Like,
it's very one-dimensional, right?
You have to run Weezing with it, so.
But like, if we're talking about one-dimensional things, like I feel like the whole Chien Pao argument for Entei is like also pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, but that one dimension's actually good and is going to.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And Chien Pao is on 30% of teams most of the time. You know, like that's very slappable. Weezing is not.
I think this is like solid C. Like it's very niche in what it does, but I think that niche is like can and will do something. I'm sure.
Latios is amazing. I'm just going to say it. Latios, the easiest of A tiers.
Gigantic buff.
Yeah, getting the buff getting the buff. The main buff it got was it got a buff to
Mist
Ball from like 70 power to 95.
What?
And it has a 50% chance to lower special attack. So it's stronger but less chance to work Mystical Fire.
Yep. The other thing that's really good, so on these balance teams that you would see the Tailwind Roaring Moon, or more recently the Tailwind plus Rocky Helmet Salamence that we saw towards the tail end of Regulation E, like Latios just does that better. It has better coverage with this. Mist Ball's just a better attack than Air Slash or Acrobatics. You still get the Draco Meteor stuff. Recover is amazing. You lose Intimidate, but you are able to do other things. You're able to do more with it. You can go into a defensive Poison Terra type or a defensive Steel and still keep your immunity with Levitate. For these, again, the balance teams that still want a Tailwind mode, this is the Pokemon to use. Again, going back to the most recent, like the Himi Tour, it had 3 spots in the top 8. Like, this is, I think, regardless of which Pokemon are going to be legal or not, as long as Latios is legal, it's going to honestly probably be the 3rd best Tailwind user.
Is Soldew legal?
No, I think it is, but you don't want to use Soldew because they nerfed the ever-living crap out of Soldew.
Yeah.
You want to use Rocky Helmet with this Pokemon.
I was more asking if like it was actually accessible in the game.
Yeah,
I don't even know if
Latios.
Is his internet acting up, or is he being ridiculous?
Yeah, Jay just acts up too. Yeah.
No, I stopped because you cut me off, and then your internet went.
Oh god!
So I was waiting for it to fill back in. Latios is like bulkier than Latios, which is why you use it over Latios. Latios hits a little bit harder.
It's really important.
But like you're still rolling just about the same calcs with both of them. They're both really good though.
Moving to the Musketeers.
Terrakion is better than the other 2.
I think
Terrakion's probably like high B,
right.
like low A potentially. I think that like the Justified next to Whimsicott stuff is going to be really threatening from that Pokemon specifically.
I don't think it. Yeah, I wouldn't put it A. I think Terrakion B, Cobalion C, and then Virizion D.
Probably right.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah. Because like the beat up stuff's cool, but also you're weak. Of course you can Terra out of it. You're still weak to Urshifu, which is rough.
The beat up stuff is hard to get going to.
Yeah.
You have to invest a lot of resources to get that going.
So for the new stuff, Archaludon I think is an easy A tier. This is such an amazing Pokemon.
I agree. Like, there's a bunch of variants of sets and really good typing.
Today I learned it gets stamina body press, which is kind of insane.
And so I know, like I think the best way to run it is the Assault Vest with the Electroshot, Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon, Body Press, and Stamina. And it turns it into a conundrum for your opponent. Do you hit this thing and make its Body Press an absolute menace, or do you ignore it and let the electro shots it's getting off in rain keep on giving it +1s, and all of a sudden you're eating a +2, +3 Draco Meteor or Flash Cannon to the face? It's the only issue is its special defense is still god awful. I think even with the Assault Vest, you have to Terra to live in Earth Power from Lando Eye. So that sucks. But really, outside of that, it's just this is like the brand new Steel type attacker that we're going to see take Goldango's place on these rain teams. And I think it's a super cool Pokemon. I think it's better than what I expected it to be.
That's a big claim, saying it's going to take Goldie's spot on the rain teams. I think Golden Go is much better than this, but that's just me. I think it's very good, but I think
this could be my new toy syndrome.
I think it's a little new toy syndrome, but I also think that this thing is actually good. So
it's good. I don't think it's Golden Go good.
Oh, I'm not saying it's Golden Go good. I think it might just fit the rain mold better. And you're right, rain might like Golden Go might just end up taking the spot once everything wears off. But I do think, at least for now, on these rain teams, they've been leaning more Arcaloudon than the Goldengo.
Yeah.
Carter, you like Flap? No, I was about to say Flapple.
I do like Flapple. It's not good though.
Yeah, Hydrapple. Like, tell us what's so good about this thing.
This thing. It's just a cute little guy. So Regenerator is like obviously a super busted ability. On top of that, like its stats are really good. Base 110 defense, base 106 HP, 120 special attack, 80 defense. Like its bulk is very good. The problem is you have base 44 speed, so like you're not quite the slowest things when it comes to like Trick Room, but you're also way too slow for like Tailwind. That being said, I don't know, man. This thing just like it screams just like good Pokemon to me. You have just like a really cool move pool with like Yawn. You get Sucker Punch, which like obviously you're not going to use based on your base 80 attack mon, but Draco Meteor slaps. Like I have Showdown pulled up here. I'm just kind of naming off like good attacks. Fickle Beam to like randomly do base 160 Dragon special like damage. Seems really good.
30% of the time, it'll happen.
It's the
30% of the time it works every time.
Yeah, it's the 30% for Fickle Beam. I wish they gave it a more consistent sort of signature move. Like I think it's a C tier.
I wish it was 50% and just like had it be. Oh no, this thing is nowhere near a C tier mon.
I could see it in C tier, honestly.
I think this is
like the thing with like Regenerator and Fickle Beam and Leaf Storm is that you can switch out and keep rolling those chances to try to get the Fickle Beam damage, to try to get the Leaf Storm damage, but your typing leaves you very weak to Chi and Pow, so you become a little bit of a Terra Hog, and it's just very inconsistent in the damage that it's going to do. I don't know. Like, I could see it in B. I don't think it's much better than anything we got in C, though. It has, like, better bulk than a lot of it, but it's very forced to Trick Room, and it's still not even the best, like, sweeper in that option.
Yeah,
I'm putting it in B until I'm proven otherwise. Plus,
okay,
and you can't tell me this is not the truth, it has one of the best shinies in the game.
It does have a very good shiny. If
Well,
that's
like,
what it takes to be a B tier nowadays, then we should bump Embor up to S.
Isn't it like an ugly shiny?
No, it turns
Embor's great.
Its gold turns blue, like a really nice blue. It's really nice.
Oh, dude, it has like this like deep purple going on with the flames too. All right, hold on now.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
Plus, like just because you have Regenerator doesn't mean like you're like locked to it, right? Like I mean, we've seen Among Us do things with like outside of Trick Room because of its like ability, and like based on his move pool and stuff. Which, granted, Hydrapple doesn't have access to Spore. That is a huge deal. You don't have access to Redirection, which is also a huge deal. This is not Amoonguss, right? But you do have access to like Yawn. You have access to Breaking Swipe, which I think is also like good. So like if you want to do like the Regenerator like support Grass type, there is an option for that. And like base 120 special attack with this amount of bulk, I think is just like not enough to ignore.
I'm okay with it in B. I don't think it's going to be that great.
I really want to try
though.
this thing out. Like I said, I haven't started working on Reg F at all because like until we know officially what the format is, I don't want to start brewing on things because like all these tours that are going on could be completely irrelevant and these Paradox Legends not be legal, and then like people have been playing and testing against them for no reason, right?
Yeah, on the day that like our viewers are actually going to watch this, we should be getting the Reg F like official list.
I think Carl said he's going to try to have this come out Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay,
the next day,
so
yeah.
the day after. So yeah, we're just before the release.
I think we can at least like talk about where we think,
yeah.
assuming the legality, where we think they could be.
We're gonna throw them in the tier list, but like, there's also just like this giant like heads up. Hey, these may not actually do anything because they're not gonna be legal.
I really hope they do, though. I'm very excited about Gouging Fire.
Same.
So let's start with Gouging Fire.
He's just a cool little guy.
I have where I think it's going to end up. I'm curious to see where you two think it is.
I love the Fire Dragon types. I've always been a really big fan of that typing. Defensively, that's a great typing. You know, it competes for the Fire type slot with Incineroar, with Entei, with Arcanine. It's weak to Intimidate, but there's like a general variety of sets that you can run with it, like Clear Amulet, Dragon Dance. There's Booster Energy, Breaking Swipe. Burning Bulwark is its new move, and it's a really, really good version of Protect.
So I will have to like give an addendum. It's actually close to the King Shield, so you can status move through Burning Bulwark.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you run it next to Weezing because you can taunt Amoonguss.
Yes.
But I think that this Pokemon is going to be good. I think that it's going to be a little bit more slotty on like specific teams that are built around it. I think it'll probably end up being like a B tier.
I agree.
Towards the high end of B.
I really want to try this in Sun because
yes,
like, obviously you get your Proto boost and like you get your fire damage boost, but you also have like instant recovery in Morning Sun, which I think is really interesting. Man, you get like Temper Flare, which I think is I don't know how good this move is.
Fire Stomping Tantrum. It's probably not going to be great on this specific Pokemon because you never want to click Fake Out into this thing. If there's an opportunity, like if unless you're Incineroar, but like if you're going to get burned. Yeah.
Like you also get like Breaking Swipe. You get Dragon Cheer, which again, like I guess makes sense, but like also whatever.
Yeah.
You get Scale Shot on a base 121 defense Pokemon. Like, that thing can afford to take a -1 to its defense to get +1 speed. Which obviously
you can just run the Dragon Dance.
Because you have Dragon Dance.
Yeah, I think the Dragon Dance set is going to end up being the best set. I think it is a great, like, Clear Amulet Dragon Dance user. Mm-hmm. But as Jay said, like, in general, it's a mon you really have to build around. It's not going to be as splashable. I also, like, before we're going into it, I think it's a definite B.
That's insulting.
You just keep on overriding us.
My heart tells me A, but my brain tells me B.
All right, so it's an A tier mon, is what I heard.
I'm okay with it.
All right, cool.
Let's talk about an actual A tier mon. Raging Bolt, I think, is the best Paradox Legend that we got out of all 6.
Yeah, this could potentially be S tier, honestly.
This thing's really good.
The only reason why I don't think I think it's the best A. It is a bit one-trick pony-ish in the fact that it doesn't get much cover. Like it doesn't get much amazing coverage outside of Electric or Dragon. With that being said, like Thunderclap? That's just that the
Thunderclap
move. That move
is such a cool move.
the move there alone makes it an A tier Pokemon.
Angelo, did you die?
And
Yeah,
no, I'm right here.
here it comes.
I can hear you.
No, there it
No,
is.
you were not.
Oh no.
Like this thing can run booster, special attack. You can run life orb. You can run assault vest. A lot of people have been running leftovers calm mind with double electric coverage.
Hell yeah.
Or
Me up.
something else calm mind. I don't know exactly what the item is. Like this has a lot of sets that it can run, and it
Why
has
does
a
this thing get full
really
switch?
amazing matchup into the meta right now, resisting Rillaboom, resisting Urshifu, resisting Incineroar, being a great Tornshifu answer. The only thing Urshifu can do in front of you is click Aqua Jet or Terra Grass and pray. You know, it has great like bulk across the board. Its speed just leaves a lot to be desired.
Which doesn't matter when you thunderclap their ass. God, I'm so excited to thunderclap people. I want to see this animation because I haven't seen it yet.
Well, while you're pulling that up, do you want to throw that in A tier? We can start talking about Wake.
No,
Nah,
this is going
let's
up
talk
in
about Wake
S.
now.
This thing's going up in S tier.
That's fair.
Thunderclap doesn't even get a cool animation. This sucks.
Damn.
Walking Wake's really good.
Very resource intensive. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Like
you have to build like around it.
you need sun for it, so you're either clicking Sunny Day with Tornadus or running Torkoal, who I don't think is necessarily a very good Pokemon right now.
There
But
for a while,
in Sun,
Torkoal was OU because of Walking Wake.
in
Which is
Sun,
so funny to me.
in Sun, this thing hits like a truck. Steam Eruption is a fantastic move, or whatever. It's Hydro Steam. It's called.
Yeah.
I'm
Water
looking because I don't know. Yeah,
Water Dragon is really good typing. You will probably have to Terra away from it in a lot of cases because of Fluttermane and Iron Bundle. But yeah, I think A or B for this Pokemon is probably fair. Its damage is like really good for A, but its resource need is probably B.
I think that the payoff is worth the struggle you need for this, because like if you're running Sunny Day Torn, you're also going to be able to have Tailwind, so you're able to outpace your opponent with this thing naturally. And on top of that, like you're then like also nerfing your opponent's Urshifus, which like Walking Wake already sits in front of and doesn't really care about anyway. I think that like Torn Wake seems really powerful, and as a result, like man, it just seems. I don't even think it's that like resource intensive.
Well,
Like,
with
I
like the
really
Torn
don't.
Wake, with like the Torn Wake stuff, the thing is that you want both Tailwind and Sunny Day, and sometimes you don't get 2 turns to do both.
That's
And
fair.
without one or the other, I think Wake ends up being a little bit underwhelming.
I mean, you're still base 109 speed, so like that's nothing to be shy of. Like, I mean,
yeah,
that's
but if
nothing
they're
to be-
like clicking Tailwind into Terra Fairy, Sun boosted choice specs Fluttermane or something, like that's.
you're right. You're right.
it's-
We don't need Torn. We need Whimsicott. We need Cotton.
I was going to.
They're
So
best friends.
Taunts.
So if you're looking at the recent tournament data, where more people have been using Whimsicott with Wake than Tornadus, so
Hell
that
yeah.
is something. I think on the Sun teams, Whims might be the better Sun setter, and Torn the better Rain setter. But there is so much Rain, and sure you get the stab boost on with like the water boost with Rain on Walking Wake, but it still is a Pokemon that is meant to be in the Sun because you lose that Proto boost. So now that we got the good ones out of the way, Iron Leaves just sucks. Like throw it next to Virizion.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Bad typing. Doesn't get anything from the Quark Drive.
Yeah, and I know Carl's like really big on Boulder. I think it's like a B tier mon. Its signature move, being able to break protect, super cool. It has like great stats. I wish it got Rock Slide. I think it not having Rock Slide knocks it down from an A to a B.
It does get really good support moves though, which is like my argument for it. I do think it's a B tier Pokemon.
Yeah.
But you can run like Encore with like fast booster energy set. That like it has some unique moves. But like you're most of the time probably just running Mighty Cleave, Close Combat, Zen Headbutt or whatever psychic type move, Protect,
You could run it with Swords Dance. I think it's just it's a mon that doesn't have an ability, and
This
which
reminds
also
me a lot of like. This gives off like good, like big, like great Tusk energy, but worse.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's very weak into Incineroar with the Intimidate and the knockoff.
And being a psychic type. And
Yeah, you're probably running like booster on this most of the time to get that speed boost because you're 124 base speed. But it's probably B. I think B is very fair. Mighty Cleave is a great move though.
This thing sucks, right?
No.
I
literally don't know anything about this thing. I don't even know what its name is. Is it
Iron Crown?
Yes, Iron Crown. I think it's the best size spam. It's the best expanding force user in the game.
I didn't realize this thing was a special attacker.
Yeah, Tachyon Cutter is a great move to break Chien-Pao. The issue with this Pokemon, I think it has to be used on a dedicated size spam team with Indeedee, and you need to have like another 2 or 3 dedicated slots at taking out Incineroar. Once the opponent's Incin's gone, I think that like Iron Crown can just run through a team. But until you get rid of that Incineroar, you kind of have to like. It kind of doesn't like you have to pretty much play it with the threat of Incin's coming in and on that turn I won't do anything. I think it's another B tier.
I agree.
Sure.
It is really nasty with fast size spam. Allowing you to do that, but its inability to hit Incin is the big issue here.
Yeah, I think it is the best of the future Paradox Legends, but that's saying more about the level of the future Paradox Legends than the actual strength of Iron Crown.
Yeah, they got a little shafted by their typing, honestly. Like, the Dragon type in this format is so much better than the Psychic type as a secondary typing.
Well, even just like the setter where it's like, you get Torkoal or Sunny Day from Torn or Whims, and it's like
Pincurchin.
Yeah, here's Pincurchin or like Thundurus, Tornadus's worst brother. So
yeah, they're at least better. I think they're better users of the booster energy than like Gouging Fire is. Like better than Raging Bolt is. They each have better items. While all the iron ones actually don't mind the booster. They all kind of like it. So,
all right. Well, that's it. That's the tier list.
Yeah, Jay, take us home.
That is our tier list, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching us get through this tier list here. We are very grateful, and make sure you guys hit that like, comment, and subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff. If you're listening over on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure you guys leave a rate. Check out that website, www.lrlessons.com. Come hang out in the community Discord. That's where all of us come and hang out and just chill with all the boys. All the homies are in the Discord, so come hang out. The Twitter at lrlessons.com at lrlessons. And then you can also always go and support us over on Discord or Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon subscribers, Johnny Bravo Sr. and Papa Swish, and shout out to Smeargle over on Discord. With that has been this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in episode number 200. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.